course, because you're using your physical being to make the sounds, aren't you? So you're using the body and the voice to vibrate through the whole system, so that it gets the mind, body, soul to actually work in unison.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it also cultivates, it requires, attributes like discipline and commitment, focus, concentration, all the things that, for whatever reason, are more and more people as the generations go by are struggling with.
Hello and welcome into another edition of Chi Time, your conscious living show with me, Clara Apollo. And on this episode, we have a return of Leela and Arnhem from Illumina. So I really would like to speak with them more about the effects of sacred chant and how this really is a way forward to help us connect with our spirituality more and to come out of the anxieties and the fears that this sort of 3D paradigm just seems to keep bestowing on us. So Leela and Arnhem, as I said, their collective is known as Illumina, and they are a divinely inspired duo. Their vocals are utterly entrancing and encouraging, and they came down to the New Forest last year and to a completely sell-out event. I mean, people were utterly mesmerized, but also deeply touched by this sort of collective effervescence that occurred during the whole sort of session, the whole evening. We didn't want it to end, and they sell out. Well, I don't like to use the term sold out or selling out, but they do have a lot of people coming to their events, and they have also played for the Indian High Commission, the Nehru Centre. They've appeared at the Royal Academy of Arts. They make regular appearances for Alternatives in London, because indeed they are London-based. So Leela is a Kundalini yoga teacher, superb, and Arnhem is a professional singer. He's a singing teacher and a vocal coach. So together they sort of really bring almost like a divine majesty to what it is they do, and therefore what it is they instill and encourage within you. So if you want to find out the difference between your Om Mani Padme Hum or your Om Gam Ganapati Namaha, the mantras that we've grown to really love and use in our world now, let's head over to Leela and Arnhem, welcome them back to Chi Time, and have a jolly good chat about chanting. You've been busy. I don't like to use the word busy, but you've been really occupied in the year between your last Chi Time interview. You always seem to be being called to different places, and has it been rather occupied for you as well?
Yeah. Done a few retreats since then, mindfulness, yoga and chanting retreats of our own in Forest Row. There's another one coming up. We have we've done so much, it's hard to we're working on our next album, so a lot of studio time.
Been doing quite a lot of work with cacao as well, so weaving, chanting with cacao ceremony, and yoga and various different other flavors of things. So we're really enjoying exploring, bringing all these modalities together. And
shamanic journeying, ecstatic dance after a cacao ceremony really seems to work as a full evening, and then a shared meal afterwards, which we did, I think it was December. One of the ones that was particularly memorable was the December one, where it was only just women came.
I think it was for solstice. That was
solstice. Yeah. And it was really amazing because it created a different kind of group energy, and then the meal afterwards, and it's really quite amazing.
Wow. I love it what you were saying about different flavors, not just the cacao, but the different flavors and the different weaves and blends, and this ability to sort of weave and knit into, so that people have a very immersive experience. You know, sound is such a key part, and with the sacred chant, which is what we're going to be focusing on, speaking with you here, is the power of sacred chant. You know, what is it that you think is the most key factor with why is it so powerful? Why is sacred chanting such a powerful thing for people to practice or listen to?
You want to go or should I go?
You can start.
Well, what I think is, or what I've experienced is that it's chants are usually, at least Sanskrit chants, and quite a few others, are not meant to be repeating. They're not affirmations. They're not repeating a nice idea over and over to yourself so that eventually you believe it. That's not, you know, chants seem to work on a energetic level directly with, you know, bypassing mental sort of language and all those. For example, Om doesn't really, it's a sound, you know, and in Sanskrit there are many different seed sounds called Bij mantra. And so they don't mean anything. They are literally just sound depictions of energy. So you have the sound of abundance, which is Shring. Then you have the sound of, you know, many different kinds for attracting something which is clean. So when we start working with sound directly, then it works on a much perhaps on a deeper level, but definitely in a different dimension than the dimension of just like the mind. And to me, that's a very key difference in chanting and affirmations. Yeah. And so they tend to be a lot more direct and a lot more powerful.
And do you think that because the language that you're using, unless you understand Sanskrit or do the words are, it's not the words per se, knowing that the mind knows about, it's the energy that the words produce, the frequencies.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That's what I was just thinking that as you were speaking, that it bypasses understanding in a sense, like understanding as we're familiar with, as we understand understanding in our culture, that you don't really need to understand it. Understanding the meaning of it is helpful because it gets the mind on board, but you know, somebody can chant a mantra that they have absolutely no idea what it means or what it's for, and still have an effect. It can still have quite a dramatic effect. Singing the mantras also has, you know, an added effect, you know, but speaking the mantras and doing, you know, daily disciplines gives a different kind of experience that sort of like seeps into the energetic expression of the body, the way that we start to perceive a situation can start to change. The mirroring of that in our life experience can change quite dramatically. So it kind of re-imprints. That's what it seems to do. It re-imprints the energetic and then the physical being.
Well, of course, because you're using your physical being to make the sounds, aren't you? So you're using the body and the voice to vibrate through the whole system, so that it gets the mind, body, soul to actually work in unison.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Absolutely. And it also it requires, you know, attributes like discipline and commitment and focus, concentration, all the things that, for whatever reason, are you know, more and more people as the generations go by are struggling with. perhaps because of media, this, that, you know, information overload, whatever it is. But those attributes, you know, are will remain valuable to live. You know, if someone wants to live a life of quality,
Yeah.
then you can't do that without these attributes in place. You can't live a life of quality without self-discipline, without focus, without commitment to, you know, whatever it is. So chanting really encourages that and brings that out of the individual. And to me, that is a very big benefit of chanting. It not only quietens the mind, but also it requires of you that you exercise these qualities.
Yeah, and I think it's fun as well, you know, to be sounding with your voice. Having been to some of your ill performances now, it is so joyous to share sound, and the power of the repetition, so that you get to say, you know, the same thing over and over. Is like, you know, it becomes a soothing kind of balm. You're just letting it roll through you, and it's enjoyable, you know. It's not a chore. This is discipline. Bring it on. Give me more, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. It's so word uplifting is coming. It's like it literally kind of uplifts the spirit, you know. So often when we're in more quote unquote depressed states or something where we feel low, or even that we feel like we're kind of just in some way hasten to use the word, struggling through life somehow, just being a human being, basically. But it can lift the spirit, especially singing. And then when we bring the mantras and the singing together, it just can really just take us into a very, very blissful state. It's like we can forget that we have all of these problems and these worries and these you know, struggles in life. Not that we don't have challenges and things to meet and things to kind of grapple with and be with, and but it kind of helps us to meet those things from a different perspective.
It does, because it gives you time out. You step out of all that stuff, you put it on hold, and you give yourself the space that you bring sound into. And that is a holistic way of connecting with yourself and with community, because let's face it, that's what it does. It really connects with that oneness, that unity, collective, when you're singing. And even when you're on your own and singing, I mean, what's this thing about that? The mantras are always going on somewhere, and when we sing the mantra, we're actually connecting in with something that's already going on.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of ways of looking at it, and that is one way to, like they say, that do we actually create something, or are we pulling what is already there through our systems, and then it comes out through us in our own unique way? So there's no way to know, but it's a really nice way to look at it, you know. And for us, especially whenever we are with other people and we're doing an event or it's a gathering, it really is about not far too often, you know, the word spirituality can be associated with serious, like some kind, like you shouldn't be laughing or you shouldn't be humorous. It's all very serious business, of course, after all, you know, and it's all a lot of serious navel gazing. And to me, it feels like when we do it, it can be very introspective, but it can also transform into a very ecstatic togetherness kind of experience. Both are interchangeable, you know, but it need not be just this one-dimensional monk in a cave kind of thing, you know. So we try to really bring that element of community and togetherness, and let's all have a good time together, you know, singing and dancing and just enjoying ourselves, you know. And otherwise, what's it for? Otherwise,
exactly. It's like remembering that sense of togetherness.
It's very, very important.
that we're all here together.
Yeah.
And you know, we don't have to be these islands. You know, we all have our own individual journeys, of course we do, but that when we come together, and especially when we sing together, and when we singing anyway, we've been doing it for millennia, haven't we? Coming together in community.
You mean we?
We. Maybe.
How many millennia have we been doing this?
Us, but you know, humans. But and when we sing the mantras together, it's like we start resonating on the same page together, and then it's just like this absolutely euphoric, joyous, delightful experience, because we're remembering, aren't we? We're remembering our inherent oneness, our inherent, togetherness, and that there isn't really separation.
And so that togetherness comes through with the sound. And shall we play, listeners and viewers, one of your tracks so that we can have a sing along?
Yes.
Yeah. Which one would you like to play them, and why have you chosen it?
We would like to do Om Tare first.
Yeah. Oh yes, lovely.
It's a very famous, popular Buddhist mantra, and it's a mantra with many different functions and uses. It can be used as a healing tool. It can be used to change situations. It can be used to attract whatever one would like to attract in one's life. It can be used to empower that attraction energy. It can be used to focus the mind. It's a really beautiful all-purpose kind of mantra. So we'd love to have everyone have an experience of that.
So we invite you to tune in and sing along with Leela and Anam and me, but I'll be off mic, obviously. You won't want to hear that, but yeah, let's just all be in this beautiful sound together, and then we'll come back and speak with you some more about the power of sacred chant. Oh, enjoy.
Om Tare Tu Tare Swaha. Om Tare Tu Tare Swaha. Om Tare Tu Tare Pure Swaha. Om Tare Tu Tare Pure Swaha. Om Tare Tu Tare Swaha. Om Tare Tu Tare Swaha. Om Tare Tu Tare Pure Swaha. Om Tare Tu Tare Pure Swaha. Om Tare Tu Tare Swaha. Om Tare Tutare Ture 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 Swaha.
Just love your music and what it's inspired in me to come back into letting myself sing just for the joy of it. Thank you, really. And I play your CDs in the car. I play them when I'm around that. It's one of my go-tos, actually. It's just something really soothing but inviting. And we're right at the end of this episode, we're going to play one of my favorites that I've no idea what the words mean, which is what we were talking about before. But it really is a very clever thing that you've done, because you don't just do the Hindu chants, do you? You do all sorts of varied mantras from around the world. How did that all happen then? How did you sort of get into doing the Celtic stuff and the...
Yeah, like for example, in this track, Leela does this beautiful Celtic prayer to this goddess, Celtic goddess. Was it Bridget?
Bridget.
Yeah. And we had to sit. It's fantastic. We sourced it online on YouTube. Some of the Celtic priest was sort of doing this completely differently, but we wanted to get the pronunciation right. So we really tried to emulate, break down exactly what the priest was saying and how he was saying it, and then to transfer all of that into. Then Leela had to painstakingly learn every little phonetic of it, and make it sound. So hopefully, if someone Celtic sort of Celtic background listens to it, hopefully they don't think, oh my God, what is this?
No, that's great. So you're really researching, there's such a quality to your work, not just the standard of your amazing vocal harmonies and your presence as individuals and combined, but also that this is running through it, you've researched it. You've got that thoroughness.
Because these mantras and chants and sacred songs, they require a certain kind of humility to be approached, and along with humility, hopefully, should come a sense of quality. Why assume that I know anything about any other chant? Why not come with a totally empty mind and an empty approach and really learn it from the ground up and see what then happens with it?
Because that's it feels like that's how we can align with the medicine of it, really. Like the spirit of each mantra, chant, from wherever it comes from, holds this beautiful offering of transformation of some kind. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Incredible lightning just struck
like
just
really...
right above your head. That was amazing.
You got a window just here, huge window.
Wow, that's... Oh, I don't know if you're hearing that, but we've got this incredible thunder. Just...
Yeah.
Wow.
Fascination.
I think the mantra spirits love what we're discussing right now.
Yeah. The medicine of the mantra, I love that, because that is really what it's about, isn't it? The medicine in your sound, and that everyone can do it. It's free, it's easily accessible, it doesn't matter what it sounds like, it's what it feels like to you.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely. That's one thing I want to
Yes.
mention is that's one of the things that makes it so easy for us is we don't have to perform. It's not like we're now performing for you, and it's not like that. It's everyone is in it together, and it doesn't matter if you got a good voice or you think you got a bad voice, or it really doesn't matter. Let's just all sing together. We're here to sort of just hold the fort a little bit, and sort of introduce the mantras and facilitate everything. But it really is a sense of let's all swim together or sing together kind of thing. Let's really go for this.
Yeah, I know, and that was the feeling that we got in that beautiful place in the New Forest last year. That you masterfully sort of navigate, or you really could have steered the ship of sound with us all in it. And there was over 50 people there, and there was some children there as well, weren't they? And they really enjoyed it as well. And that there was some kirtan in there too, so that we were kind of really getting that Ganesh mantra was like supreme. I mean, I think I was dancing, and you were encouraging that too, like get up, express, let your body move.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm only sitting on the ground because I've got the microphone there. Otherwise, I would be moving as well. Like it invites whole body experience.
Absolutely.
When we start to work with the sound, with the medicine of sound, it's like it wants to let stuff move in the body, and then physical movement is a natural response to that.
It is.
Every primal, like I really remember this, and the way this man said it, I really thought, there's something very authentic about that. And this is Elvis Presley when he was just been discovered. He was only 18, 20 years old, something, and he was a big superstar of his, 60s, 50s. And he said something like, in an interview, he said, man, when you hear rock and roll, you can't help but move, something like that. And
That's good accent, isn't it?
It was very authentic. It really felt like he couldn't help himself. It was a whole body experience. And I think that when anything which is primal, which speaks to us, to our primal instinct, it's a shame to then civilize it in a way by sitting and spiritualizing it or whatever. Just fine, just get up and dance. It doesn't matter,
So,
Each
sorry.
mantra has its own flavor, and some mantras take you into like really deep, quiet stillness, and there's a beauty to that as well. And actually, the body doesn't want to move an inch, but you're still like vibrating this absolute euphoric experience. And other times, you just cannot sit still, and you need to move the body, and it has its own sense of euphoria. And,
So this is very deeply respectful, isn't it? Because we need stillness and flow, and to be able to be with how our systems want to express at that time, without any preconceptions on how I should be.
That's important, I think.
It's really important.
Not to edit ourselves.
And
I can understand, because that's why we take great pains to, well, in a sense, we're really aware in a gathering to help everyone to just feel easy and not feel like this is some kind of, they're in a library that, you have to sort of, no, it's an informal thing. We're all in it together. If people want to dance, there's a space there. If people want to just be introspective, you want to lie down and receive. It's all good. Everything's good. There's no one way to do this,
And this is so liberating, isn't it? To be able to be free. And I think you were saying earlier about sort of distractions and, the outside world and all of that. And actually, what is real? As we're sort of talking about the other dimensional sort of ways that we can inhabit ourselves through our spiritual practice. People talk about 5-dimensional like reality, and just to be able to bridge that with the 3-dimensional existence. And it's like, well, how do we do that? And actually, I think sound and chant is definitely one of the ways through, and movement too.
Definitely one of the more sort of efficient, I would say, or because it tends to sort of just you don't have to read a book or understand philosophies, or it's not even about whether 5 realities exist or 10 bodies or 7 chakras. None of you just open your mouth and sing this thing. It moves you, sing it or receive it, whatever. It's a lot more pared down and like basic. So
yeah, because I think we all were born to sing. We're all we use the voice often in speaking, in conversation, but actually what most people experience, even if it's challenging, because a lot of people have this idea that I can't sing, or that I'm no good at singing, so I shouldn't sing. But actually, if we can just continue anyway, even if there is like fear and all this kind of stuff, it helps to kind of free up the original voice, in a sense. And then we remember that it isn't about anybody else, really. It's about reconnecting to our soul, and singing and sounding is one of the most immediate ways that we can express that pureness, that purity.
Yeah. I lost my voice a couple of years ago, and it was really brought up a lot of anger, actually. And like, that's not okay. I can't lose my voice. I need to use my voice. Why am I being shut up? I mean, I'm what things are saying, that sort of thing. And that's what I said. I think your work, is your tracks and your songs helped me to bring me back into my voice, because I thought I can't sing anymore. I can only speak on a certain level. But actually, I'm now getting more of a range back, and singing your mantras has really helped me there. But I also would think that as long as I was listening and hearing, I was imagining that I could sing or that I could speak, that was a really important part too. And I know that in some meditations, when you imagine sound, it can be as powerful, if not more even. I mean, how does that work?
Yeah. I mean, who really knows? At the end of the day, I think that everything is speculation, because it's I don't know. For me, I work best when life remains a mystery, and things remain mysterious and magical. So I don't know, and I don't really care to not know, in a sense of figuring this out, and Latin name of that frog, and Latin classifications of that plant species, and knowing everything about it. Who knows how it all works? We just don't know. But what we do know, that in this moment, we can allow ourselves to just be ourselves, just be immersed in the moment. And to us, the way that works, and works very well, is through the medium of chants and the medium of mantras, because we find it very easy to then reconnect to this moment. Always just, okay, this moment, again, this moment, and again, so if how wonderful if 50 other people want to join us in reconnecting in this way, and sing and have fun, and then again have fun in this moment, and now in this moment, and now we're singing in this moment. And so to us, that's the absolute foundation of why we do it. It's not, it really isn't for the sake of the chants themselves, for their own sake. It's really to use them as tools to guide our consciousness back into an awareness of right now.
And as you were saying that, I was really feeling that we always talk about how the breath brings us into the now moment, and that sound and chanting is an extension of breath. It's like glorified breath, Yeah. And the power of breathing with sound, and it's just immense. And yet it's so natural and simple, as you're saying as well. You don't have to think about it.
It's that quote by Björk that comes to mind, is breathing is a celebration of singing is a celebration of oxygen. I just love it. It's fresh. I mean, only Björk would say something like that. It's so brilliant.
So true. I know we could talk about breath and stuff, because I know you doing yoga and the qigong and everything and the singing, but I love that idea of the now moment, not just about the breath, it's about the sound of the breath. So I thank you for that. That was inspired. Oh, inspiration, more breath. So let's play that favorite track of mine, but first of all, let's let people know how they can get in touch with you if they want to find out more about what you're getting up to, because you're London based, but you do get around, don't you? Like
Yeah.
Countryside. So where can people find you?
Well, our website is illuminamusic.co.uk, and all of our events are on there. We're also on Facebook, which is Illumina Music, and
on YouTube as Illumina Music. So if people want to just go onto Google and search Illumina chants, Illumina mantras, Illumina music, absolutely will start popping up on the screen.
Brilliant. Thank you.
And our music is available on the website, all of our music, Spotify. So whatever is good for you, then we're there.
That's fantastic. That's good that you make it so available for people to listen to and get involved with. And we're really looking forward to you coming back to the New Forest. And
wait, about this treehouse amazing event.
It's gonna be so.
Woo!
Yeah.
A little plug here.
Come and join us.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll put all links to that after this. But if you're watching this before the 25th of June, then that's when it is, the 25th of June. But also, Illumina are going to come down on the 18th of November as well to the Burley Manor Hotel. Yay! Lots of fairy lights. We'll have a summer and a winter session, very nice and yin yang, and we'll get into that, and it will be brilliant. But let's. So this track is the Asatoma Satgama. I can't pronounce it properly, but when I sing it with you, so I kind of get it nearly right. But it's the one that I really love. I really look forward to it when it comes onto the playlist, and it just when I'm driving along, I'll be singing at the top of my voice, and there's something about it, and then it's just got such a really powerful message of like turning, the poison into nectar. I mean, what beautiful words! Beautiful. How did you choose this, and is there a story behind it?
The story is that we heard. If you really, this kind of have mind-blowing potential, so I'll put it out there and see what happens. But we heard this chant, this particular version. One day we were doing an evening, and this amazing lady with this incredible harp was playing before us. And so she came on, she did this tune, and then it was our turn, we did our gig, and that was it. And then later on, it started just percolating in my brain, that melody and that particular mantra. And so what I did was we sort of then hashed it out and put the English translation bit, which is the direct translation of Asatoma Satgamaya. It's take us from darkness to light and from poison to nectar. And so it is kind of our version of her version. Now the thing is that she's going to come and live with us. That lady that we
haven't seen her since then. I mean,
we did not see her after that evening.
She's in like similar circles, but we haven't seen her or spoken to her since then. So this is like 9 years ago or something.
9 years ago. So we went and recorded it, and that was the end of that. But now it so happens that it's all come full circle, and Camille, that's her name, Camille Marie, incredibly talented lady, is gonna be our housemate.
I love it.
And literally in a couple of weeks' time, which is quite amazing. That
that very harp is right there in the next room. She's already brought it over.
We need to tell her this story, actually.
We should, She doesn't know.
She doesn't know that. And it happens to be my favourite track. It's probably other people's as well. I mean, I like all of your stuff, but this is the one that particularly, I've actually played it to my son as well, who's a musician, and he really loves the combination of harmonies that you're using and the way that it grows and builds and, let alone what it means, So I'm just getting my little cup of tea in here. So anything that you want to finish with just before we go into that, or do you think that's enough for people to go with, like, synchronicities a go-go?
I'd like to say that just Asatoma Sadgamaya usually is sung in India or chanted in India to celebrate the transition of from the body. If someone's died, then this is the chant that is sung to them to ease their passing into the next world, and so that they may have an easeful reincarnation and ever move on towards from darkness towards light with each incarnation.
And then that makes me think that of the power of this mantra that can be used at any stage of the life, because we're constantly dying to the old, aren't we? And new parts of us are being reborn and re-expressed. So it feels like it goes really beautifully with what we know as the English translation from darkness to light, from old ways into new ways, or limitation into expansion.
The alchemy of poison to nectar. Spiritual.
Beautiful, isn't it? Oh, thank you, you two beauties. Really, really, it's been an utter joy to be with you on Chi Time here again. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much for inviting us.
Oh, you're really welcome. Oh, I hope that you all enjoy this next track as much as I do. We look forward to seeing you again very, very soon. So keep your chi up, my friends. Thank you. And thank you all so much for listening and watching. Here is Illumina with Asatoma Sat Gamaya.
Asatoma Sat Gamaya Tamasoma Jyotir Gamaya Amritam Gamaya. Om Asatoma Sat Gamaya Tamasoma Jyotir Gamaya Satoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotir Gamaya Amritam Gamaya. Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotir Gamaya Amritam Gamaya. Take us from the false to the true, from darkness to light. Take us from the false to the true, from darkness to light. poison to nectar. Satoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityormamritam Gamaya Om Satoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Amritam Gamaya Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityormamritam Gamaya Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityormamritam Gamaya Take us from the false to the true, from darkness to light. Take us from the false to the true, from darkness to light, from poison to nectar, from poison to nectar, from poison to nectar, from poison to nectar. 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 Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya to nectar. Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya to nectar. Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. Asatoma